think about October 1st will be 9 years for us. I can look at somebody and say, I know we're going to grow 3-4 times the revenue in 3 years. I can see it. We have the metrics and KPIs in place because of all these systems and process. So as the owner and founder and now the CEO that's overlooking all this, I'm very confident in our pathway ahead. We have a plan and we just have to execute it.
This video was made in 2019, over 5 years ago. Since then, Mike's predictions have come true. As of December 31st, 2024, he has tripled the size of his business. Along the way, the Philadelphia Business Journal recognized Stratus IP as the best place to work in 2023.
Hi, I'm Sam Salter, founder of Growth Country and the creator of the Growth2x Scorecard. And for those of you that don't know, the Growth2x Scorecard is a business management, strategic planning, and digital transformation system for CEOs of middle market companies that want to grow faster. It helps CEOs of middle market companies implement fast growth strategies used by companies such as Google, Salesforce, and Amazon that could result in the doubling of their revenue in 5 years or less. And I'm here with one of my great implementers, Mike Delug, CEO of Stratus IP, who's been using the Growth2x framework to scale, systematize, and grow his company. Mike, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Glad to have you, man. Absolutely. So, Mike, tell me a little bit about Stratus IP and what do you guys do?
Sure. We're a sales and support organization. Our job is to go out, find customers that are looking to make a change in the voice and data world, make our recommendations, and then place them with a carrier that we feel is the best fit for them. Once they do that, we handhold them through the implementation process, and then we support them for the life of their contract, doing bill reviews. We keep an eye on our trouble tickets and go out and see them, quite frankly, to say hi and see how the business is doing.
Got you. What's the benefit of using your company versus me just calling up Comcast or AT&T? They have their commercials about business services.
Sure, and I did work directly for a carrier at one point. One of the benefits immediately is that we actually meet with a customer and listen to them. We don't try to take our product set as a carrier and say this is a good fit for you because it's our product. It's the complete opposite of that. What we do is we listen and then make a recommendation based on what they tell us. Just because one carrier may be a good fit for the bandwidth doesn't mean this same carrier will be good for their call center application or CRM integration or new phones.
Gotcha.
So we sit there, listen, make the best recommendation, and then handhold them through the implementation of it.
Gotcha. So how were you introduced to myself and the Growth2x Scorecard?
Well, I know one thing that I don't know everything, right? So I'm a part of a business group called Vistage, which obviously you're a member of now as well. So when things pop up, you ask for recommendations. So at the time, I was looking very interested in systems, process, and a CRM for our growing company. And your name popped up, and then we met 3 or 4 times and came up with the plan that we're installing today, still to this day.
Gotcha. So what problems were you having in your business and just trying to grow your business before we started working together, before you started using the Growth2x Scorecard?
It wasn't scalable. The one thing I realized reading books of sales speakers, you read the E-Myth, you read Predictive Revenue of the story of Salesforce, is that the only way to scale a company is to have a process and system in place. Up until the point where you and I met and implemented this over a year ago, everything was by brute force. We were making the phone calls off our spreadsheets and putting tasks in Outlook, making follow-ups, I hope, sending emails, we think, not as many times as we should, but it was time to clean it up to take this company to where I want to, quite frankly.
Gotcha. What has been the single biggest benefit? I know you have a few from implementing the Growth2x methodology.
Because of the cadence that we put in on the prospecting front, we're able to touch prospects more through automation that you and your team have set up. And we have won business because of it. I personally have sat in meetings when we asked, how did you, or why did you agree to meet with us? And the answer was, well, we got those emails. We never talked to them, but we got those emails. Well, those emails weren't going out, following up on the phone calls in the cadence with the topics until we met you and your team and we installed the first system. So to answer your question simpler is we have earned business that we wouldn't have before. And quite frankly, it's kind of helped pay for all this, right?
Got you. So do you feel strategy, system, and automation are equals, or you feel one is more important than the other?
Well, you can't install something without it being a part of a strategy, right? And in order to get there, you need a process in place. So I think it's like a basketball team, right? You the center can't dribble the ball up the court, and the point guard probably is not your best shooter. Together they can win, and that's my way of answering your question. I think all three carry the same weight.
Absolutely. Now, how do you feel personally about your company now that you're using this methodology?
I think about October 1st will be 9 years for us. I can look at somebody and say, I know we're going to grow 3-4 times the revenue in 3 years. I can see it. We have the metrics and KPIs in place because of all these systems and process. So as the owner and founder and now the CEO that's overlooking all this, I'm very confident in our pathway ahead. We have a plan and we just have to execute it.
In terms of cost reduction from using methodology, have you experienced any cost reductions?
Yeah, I mean, the cost reduction is in wasted time and energy by the people. We're able to smoke out salespeople, quite frankly, or SDRs that aren't doing the jobs and they're telling us they're making the calls and meeting with the people. Now we know they're not. A company like ourselves that's basically an agent of carriers and gets paid off of our book of business, we don't have products, we don't have machinery, we have overhead as people. So it's allowed me to give them, quite frankly, the tools to be successful, but also the tools to show me that they're not.
And in terms of increased revenue?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've closed business we wouldn't have before. The revenue has increased just on that alone. And then we can get into the other levers that we're working on, which is it's allowing us to keep better eye on our contracts when they return.
Right.
It's allowing us to grow the revenue of the customers we have.
Right.
It's allowing us to just do so many more things because we have vision into our customer base and the things we want to do. The growth of revenue is now starting to get there in a lot of different fronts, but first and foremost it's the sales. Secondly, it's the helpfulness of renewing our contracts.
Got you. I have a quote of mine, and I always say that easy is never a friend of great. Just what is your biggest frustration in trying to implement a fast growth methodology? If you had to give advice to another CEO, and we've had frustrations. This is not easy. There's no magic bullet. This is no get rich quick. You know, you're trying to outdo your competitors. You know, if the average middle market company is growing at 9%, we're trying to get 100%. Well, in your case, you're trying to get 100% a year, and you're already a multi-million-dollar business. What frustrations and stresses come along with trying to scale fast?
Well, I think the first is the unknown, right? Listen, I played baseball, I got my degree in exercise physiology, and here I am in the sales and marketing world and selling bandwidth, right? It's the unknown, but you surround yourself with good people. After one meeting with you, quite frankly, I knew what tools you can give us was the vision that I had. It's definitely the unknown. It's also trying to install systems and not slow people down. I don't want my top sales guy spending an hour every day putting stuff in Salesforce because that's what he's told to do.
Correct.
I'd rather him see it as a tool that helps him sell more revenue, and that's what we've started to do and install to the point now where it's become part of their habits. Being a former sales guy, when they first rolled out CRMs, it was nothing but a hassle. This has been the complete opposite. So that experience has helped me ease that, but that's certainly a fear for anybody doing this for the first time, for sure.
Do you feel that what we're implementing is a foundation that you can use now, but also the same systems and process and strategies will be the same systems and process and strategies you would use when you had 1,000?
There's no doubt. One of the things I'm excited about is exactly the question you're asking is once we get the 12, 13, 14 levers built out,
right,
we're actually going to have the data and metrics to show that it's a success. But then the cool part is now you can go back to ones we started and tighten it up more.
Gotcha.
So for example, when we first started, I didn't even know that we had a 0.5% conversion rate for getting first appointments based on the number of calls we had. Now that's starting to increase. And as we go through the funnel now of new appointments and we're starting to get that metrics, I can't wait to go back in and move the needle to 1% conversion rate because that'll double our sales funnel right there.
Correct.
When you have the power of the numbers and data, which we're now acquiring, I think at that point it's the fun part is not only seeing that, but then making it better. So yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 years from now, I'm gonna say to you, hey, how can we take this number from that?
We're looking at, 3 levers of the 14: increase leads,
that's right,
increase conversions, increase the value of the customer. We've started implementing 1 very well. Now we just, started talking about 2 and 3. Where do you see, in your point of view, just like I asked you the system question, What one do you see more important? Increase leads, and this is a trick question. Increase leads, increase conversions, or increase lifetime value of the customer?
In the beginning, it's going to be the first one or two, and the reason I say that is because we're a growing company with 250 customers, right? When we have 1,000 customers, increasing the value of the lifetime of the customer is going to be just as powerful as the front end, right? Because we just have more meat on the bone there that we can go after. So they're all going to be equal, but in the beginning right now it's finding new business. And quite frankly, the new business is the ROI for your system, right? And then as we deploy the rest of it out and our customer base grow, they're all kind of feeding off of each other, right? In order to get more customers, you need to find more of them. In order to grow how much revenue you're selling into the customer, you need more of them. And so it's just a big circle. And so eventually they'll all be equal, but when you're a growing small business and you're starting, you want as many customers as you can.
It's funny, based on what you said, I just have two questions, and I really appreciate the time. When you think about it, you mentioned you have 250 customers and get to 1,000, and someone listening to this may, that's not a business. But you sell a high value service. I mean, an account for you can be worth 20,000 or more, 100,000 a year revenue.
Correct.
But on the flip side of that, someone that sells high priced products may feel like, I don't need all this system and stuff. I mean, I make one sell, I make 100,000. What would you say to that viewpoint? I don't need systems if I sell, because again, 250 customers, you have a multi-million-dollar business. Why even have systems? Just you make so much one deal, doesn't make a difference, does it?
So I would say to that person with the higher end sale and a smaller number of customers, wouldn't it be nice to just have one more? Right? Wouldn't it be nice to have one more? And I gotta believe the value of those customers are exponentially more than ours. So wouldn't that investment to get that one more mean so much more to you than it would for us? Right. So I would tell them they probably need it even more than I would.
Right.
Just because they'll see a bigger return on investment quicker by that one customer. Yeah, I mean, and quite frankly, I've had these conversations with people as we've been installing this over the last year. People are asking me, how is it going? Do you think it's worth it? And the answer has been yes all the time because I can see it. So I hope that answers your question.
No, absolutely. And this is the last question. 5 years from now, if you want to put a number on it, where's Stratus? In terms of in terms of revenue, if you can, or you can say high 8, 9 figures, whatever you want to say, and in terms of employees, and most important, in terms of your impact. Because we all do things as entrepreneurs for a reason. What type of impact you want to have in your community, as a result of the wealth you create through your company?
Great question. Yeah, great question. A lot
Nice
of good stuff in there. It is. And listen, one of the mantras here at Stratus IP is we don't have to do business with everybody. We like to do business with good people, and in return, you got to get good karma back, right? One of the things we like to do is give back. We do food drives and we give to different charities and donations. To answer your question, 5 years from now, I would like to continue to be a CEO of this company and sell more, quite frankly, because I'm a salesperson, but also have a non-profit type arm of this company to give back to not charities of my choice, but charities of the employees of Stratus. One of the best things, when I first started running Stratus and it was just myself, a phone, and a lead list, I wanted to change generations of my family on my own dime, on my own, hard work. It's kind of evolved. And your process and system is going to enable us to get there. And the evolving is I don't want to just change generations of my family's life. I want to change generations of my employees' families and lives. People that we didn't even know are having a successful career and a pathway forward now. And I'm confident we can do that because of the systems and process in place that's going to enable us to grow the revenue, which quite frankly takes care of everything else. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to be 5 years and then look back and see how far we've come, because over the last 12 months, we were just talking about this earlier, how great it is to see what's installed. We're in the building, you see the dialers, you see we hear them on the phone, we're making thousands of calls and appointments are being set, and we're having success with it. So we threw the rest of this stuff up on the whiteboard, our next couple steps, and it's like, man, I can't wait to get there. Yeah. But we gotta enjoy the ride along. We gotta enjoy the journey, right? We can't just fast forward, but for the sake of your question, we did a little bit.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Keep growing.
Thank you.
Keep
Appreciate
growing.
it.